Have you ever found yourself questioning, how can I overcome my past traumas without losing the essence of who I am? It's a question that echoes in the quiet spaces of our minds, a question that can feel as vast as the cosmos itself. Yet, the answer lies not in the stars, but within us, in our authenticity. Authenticity, the quality of being true to oneself, is the compass that guides us through the labyrinth of healing. It's the unerring beacon that illuminates our path when the world around us seems shrouded in darkness. It's the anchor that keeps us grounded when the tempests of life threaten to sweep us away. It's the shield that protects us from the sharp barbs of others' envy, jealousy, and malice. The sword that cuts through the tangled knots of bitterness and resentment. Being authentic means owning our stories, embracing our past, and acknowledging our wounds. It's acknowledging that we've been hurt, that we've suffered, that we've been broken. But it's also acknowledging that we have the strength to heal, to mend, to rise again. It's about standing tall in the face of adversity, about refusing to be defined by our traumas, about choosing to define ourselves by our resilience, our courage, our tenacity, our determination. Being authentic means setting boundaries, reclaiming our power, and asserting our worth. It's about refusing to let others dim our light, about refusing to let others dictate our worth. It's about refusing to let others' inability or unwillingness to appreciate us change the essence of who we are. Being authentic means being a beacon of light in the world, a beacon that shines so brightly that it inspires others to find their own light, to find their own path, to find their own authenticity. This is the story of a person who has successfully navigated this journey, a person who, despite the trials and tribulations, the hurt and the heartbreak, has remained true to themselves, has remained authentic. And in doing so, they have not only healed themselves, but have also paved the way for others to do the same. Now meet John, a man who has faced numerous challenges and traumas in his life. His past is a tapestry of broken relationships and painful experiences, yet he has never let this dim his inner light or change who he truly is. John has always been an individual who extended a helping hand, a shoulder to lean on, and a listening ear to those around him, regardless of their past actions or the hurt they may have caused him. He lived by the principle of kindness and authenticity, even when it was met with rejection, even when those he cared for chose to walk away. There were times when people left because John had started to develop boundaries. He was taking his power back, learning to say no, learning to prioritize his own well-being. It was a difficult transition, one that came with its fair share of heartaches. Some people didn't like this new John, this person who was no longer allowing himself to be taken for granted. They left, and it hurt. But John never let the pain harden his heart. He never let bitterness seep into his soul. Instead, he used it to fuel his resilience. He accepted that some people wouldn't appreciate his authenticity, his refusal to change just to fit someone else's narrative. He understood that having confidence, tenacity, courage, and the determination to win might intimidate some, or even evoke envy and jealousy. But John was okay with that. He knew that standing firm in his truth was more important than bending to fit into others' expectations. He knew that those who walked away would eventually need his support, his kindness, his authenticity. He also knew that they might not reciprocate when he needed them. And he was okay with that too, because he was strong, because he was resilient. John's story isn't just about the challenges and traumas he faced. It's about the lessons he learned, the resilience he built, and the authenticity he maintained despite it all. John's story is a testament to the power of resilience and authenticity. Healing is an art, and like any art, it requires patience, skill, and most importantly, authenticity. Consider a sculpture, meticulously chiseled by its artist, each stroke a deliberate act of creation. Healing is just as intricate, just as deliberate, and just as beautiful. It's a process, a journey, a dance between the pain of yesterday and the promise of tomorrow. Now let's talk about patience. Healing isn't a sprint. It's a marathon, a slow and steady journey towards a better tomorrow. It's about understanding that wounds take time to heal, that pain ebbs away slowly, and that's okay. It's about granting yourself the grace of time, the luxury of patience. Take John, for example. He faced his fair share of trials, traumas that left him scarred and weary. But he understood the importance of patience in healing. He didn't rush the process, didn't try to plaster over his wounds with quick fixes. He allowed himself the time to heal, to mend, to grow. And then there's authenticity. In the face of adversity, it's easy to lose sight of who we are. But John, he held on to his authentic self. He didn't let his traumas define him, didn't let the world shape him into something he wasn't. He remained true to himself, true to his values, true to his dreams. Healing at its core is about self-love. It's about cherishing yourself enough to allow yourself the time to heal. It's about valuing yourself enough to remain authentic, to remain true. John's story, his journey, is a testament to the power of healing. It's a beacon of hope, a lighthouse guiding us through the stormy seas of our own traumas. It's a reminder that we, too, can heal, that we, too, can rise above our trials. And so, John's journey of healing shows us that it's not just possible, but essential to remain true to ourselves. John's journey is not just a story of overcoming trauma, but it's also a guide for anyone who finds themselves in a similar situation. For John, like many of us, life threw curveballs that left him feeling hurt and lost. But he learned a thing or two from the trials he faced. And these lessons are what we can take away from his story. Firstly, we learn about the importance of healing. Healing isn't a linear process, nor is it a race against time. It's a personal journey through which we come to terms with our pain and find peace within ourselves. It's about acknowledging our past, understanding it, and then letting it go. It's about forgiving not just others, but ourselves as well. This process may be slow and it may be painful, but it's a necessary step towards moving forward. Secondly, John's story teaches us about authenticity. In a world where we are often judged by our appearances and actions, it's easy to lose sight of who we are. Yet John reminds us that being true to ourselves is the most important thing. It's about embracing our flaws and strengths, our failures and successes, and everything in between. It's about showing up as we are, without the fear of judgment or rejection. Because at the end of the day, the only person we need to impress is ourselves. Lastly, we learn about resilience. Life is full of ups and downs, and it's not always going to be smooth sailing, but it's our ability to bounce back from adversity that defines us. It's about standing tall even when we feel like crumbling. It's about finding the strength within us to keep going, no matter how difficult the journey may seem. As John's story shows us, it is through healing from our past traumas, maintaining our authenticity, and demonstrating resilience that we can truly move forward. These lessons are not just for John or for anyone dealing with trauma or adversity. They are for all of us, because at some point in our lives, we will face challenges. And it's these lessons that will guide us through the storm and lead us towards a brighter future. Please don't forget to like and subscribe for more daily content. Until next time, stay prayerful. Keep the faith and trust the process.